I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there, without care, yeah, I was out of time. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that but think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now, who do you think you are? Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like my heroes and the heart to the and all I remember is thinking I wanna be like that. Ever since I was little, and I'm like mine. And it's no coincidence somehow. And I can die when I'm gone. But baby, I'm crazy. Baby, I'm crazy. Baby, we're
Love that song.
That song is really a classic. Keep saying it. Oh, Roro. Is everybody able? Because that's your thing. It's just the fact that you got everybody else saying it too. You know, that's all. Y'all can see the words, right? Good. No, Roro, I said keep saying it. That's your thing. You know, that's what you say. Howdy is your thing. You just got everybody else saying it too. Nope says it. Mm-hmm. Come on, peoples, bring yourselves on up in here. Oh, oh shit, what the hell? Ugh. Mm.
I'll enter the prompt whenever you're ready.
Ugh, what the fuck? Go ahead. I'm finna mute up.
All right. Are men just immature or are they actually mentally ill? If most men can't function without chaos, that is arrested development. Is that arrested development or lunacy? Okay, so for the first question, I believe they're probably actually mentally ill. Just listening to a lot of them speak, they have low empathy skills and high a lot of narcissistic tendencies, and they don't really have a lot of critical thinking skills as well. Um, I know we kind of say this is like immaturity or like a naivety, like arrested development, but I don't believe that it's connected to like a youth. Like I feel like children are smarter than a lot of men. I feel like this is something that boys grow into.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely do feel like it's a mental illness, but I'm not sure if it's arrested development or lunacy. I don't know either or.
Understandable, understandable. Oh, child.
Um, I'll go next. Um, let's be real. Most men are walking around with arrested development, and when that immaturity mixes with mental illness, that's a recipe for lunacy. Um, yes, I do feel like that is absolutely true. Um, I think in general, being a man is mental illness. I'll be honest. Um, that's just how I feel about it. Um, immature, them being immature is a really big issue. Um, I don't think they ever really grow up. Like they can end up with whole families, marriages, kids, really good jobs, and like be like the most immature person. The lack of responsibility that they feel is crazy. Um, and the fact that they're allowed to even function like that, I think society plays a role in it. Um, but I don't think it's just immaturity because even when they are talked to about it, they still don't seem to get it. So it seems like to me,
Yeah, there's no changes.
yeah, there's no connect. So it seems like to me, it is mentally ill, like mental illness, and I think it's both. I think it's arrested development and lunacy, but knowing what lunacy was labeled as historically, I feel like men are definitely lunatics.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and to answer your question, bro, so based on based upon research, right? Because they don't hear that often. Arrested development can is arrested development and lunacy is on a spectrum, and it's all based off severity, meaning like it's mild to severe, and usually severe arrested development is what is considered lunacy. So it's all essentially the same thing, just different you know spectrums of it and whatnot. I honestly think that it's the same exact thing. There is no thin line. There's nothing that separates the two distinctively, for real, but severity. So it's like if there's nothing that separates the two that legitimately counteracts each other, then how the fuck is it two separate things? I don't get it. They be trying to gaslight and manipulate, and I don't like nothing about that. I don't like nothing about that at all. Let me see who else I can invite up in here.
I was gonna say too. Also, it gives me when Divinity was speaking, it was reminding me of a Peter Pan syndrome about how like they never really grow up. They always want to be like children. Like they want to even
Mm-hmm.
like to the point where they're jealous of babies and things like that. Like, oh, my wife is like giving more attention to the baby. It's because they want to be seen as they the baby.
True.
Can y'all still hear me? Oh, okay, cool. But yes, I agree. Crazy work, honestly. Cause what the fuck?
And they don't. It's almost like they get offended because you want them to be responsible in a relationship with a whole grown ass man. It's like they, like Keeper said, they don't want to grow up.
I'm a real boy. Face ass. Pinocchio ass niggas. That's what the
So
fuck
love
they
the movie Pinocchio when I was a kid too.
Peter Pan ass niggas. You just gotta start roasting people. Just start roasting their ass. Fuck it.
Like Michael Jackson was like, oh, his excuse was like he never got to have a childhood because he was always like practicing. Which honestly, you are a musician. That seems like one of the most awesome childhoods to have. I mean,
Well, I
he used to
mean,
get he used to get his ass beat, but I mean everybody else did too during that time. He was not special or unique in the black community for getting his
okay.
ass beat.
So in no, however, he really didn't have it. Like he didn't have no room to be a kid outside of him being a musician. He was extremely adultified. So with him, I feel like it's a little different.
What do you mean by Peter Pan was a female? What do you mean by that? I mean, I've seen the movie,
Don't piss me off.
but I just want to know what they mean. What are they talking about?
Cause that's all they're gonna do is piss me the fuck off. Working on my last damn nerve. Mm. I remember when everyone else smiled. Right.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much.
You wanna address the prompt?
Yeah. I think that okay, so I'm just answering the one question below, right?
You can read the whole thing and yes.
Okay. Let's be real. Most men are walking around with arrested development. And when that immaturity mixes with mental illness, it's a recipe for lunacy. That's very true. So here's the question, are men just immature or are they actually mentally ill? I feel like it's both because of that arrested development. They are like more likely to be immature. And that is in itself like mental illness. So it's kind of like yes on both ends. If most men can't function without chaos, is that arrested development or lunacy? I think it would be more arrested development, but I mean it devolves into lunacy. I feel like that's an effect of said arrested development.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, period, period. You know you some.
I just thought this was a really interesting prompt. Like I was really excited to talk about this. This is really intriguing. Like I like how this is written.
Thank you. Me and my homegirls be trying. Um, so basically how it is explained is that arrested development and lunacy is on a spectrum, right? And it's based upon severity. And my theory is that arrested development is lunacy toned down, like they gave it a different name. because you know lunacy is now considered a slur or insult in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mel.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine.
All right. I missed a lot of the beginning, so I'm not for sure where we're going with this. But
Oh, but you could just go off of the prompt. You could just read it and then respond to the
okay,
questions at the bottom.
I think most men are um based off of what I see on just TikTok and just their prompts and stuff that they have a lot. I think that they have this sense of entitlement. I don't know that it. I would go with more like a arrested development thing, just because um how they were raised. I mean, because a lot of that has to do with trauma as well too. Like, I mean, let's just say a guy was raised with a single parent, whether it be a dad or a mom or whatever, and they're taught one thing, they have this sense of entitlement. Like, I expect a woman to behave this way or that way if I'm in a relationship with her, or I expect her to be one way or the other, or, have all these crazy expectations. I just, I don't know. Maybe it is immaturity, because most of the time, whenever I see it, it's guys, in their, I'd say early to mid 20s, who haven't even been in a real relationship yet to even know what that consists of, if that makes any sense. I'm not for sure I'm explaining it right.
Yes. Hey, Doso. You could come up if you want to. Lala is here. I don't know why she's not on the panel. She could bring herself up here. Do
Well,
one of y'all want to respond to what Mel said?
I was gonna respond to the comment.
That's fine too. Go ahead.
I really think that it's not laziness. I feel like laziness is not really a great word to describe it as, just because I feel like that in itself is like such a paradox. But I feel like there are a lot more contributors to a lot of them not being able to do the things that they were, and I think arrested development is exactly really the explanation, that a lot of them were taught that they just had to do it themselves, and therefore they don't look towards anyone but themselves, and then they look for echo chambers, and then they isolate themselves. That in itself is like immaturity at its like highest, in my opinion. That is like actual like serious arrested development, because I mean, like, the lunacy that I feel like we're describing, if we're on a spectrum, would be, the boys who have done like really awful things in the past few years that we don't really need to get too much into for TikTok purposes, but
What happened?
I don't know. I don't think anybody like does anybody disagree or want to add
No,
on?
No,
you
I
had.
didn't.
Oh, I didn't know you had landed because you had just stopped talking. My bad. But go ahead.
Yeah, I landed my plane. I just feel like there are a lot more contributing factors to like this laziness that we see like among a lot of people. I feel like
Yeah, I
lazy.
agree. I don't think it's laziness. I believe that it's a societal standard. I feel like most
Agreed.
people
Mm-hmm.
are
Very agreed.
kind of like
Yes.
programmed to be that way and to just accept it, and like this is, boys will be boys. We kind of just shrug our shoulders when it comes to men and mental health.
I feel like it's a side effect of capitalism in like a really heavy way.
Capitalism.
Yes,
The capitalism, the patriarchy, it's just like all these layered systems into each other.
yeah.
Half of it. Right. I'm sorry. I don't know why the hell I always decide to want to make me something to eat the moment I get on live, but
Freaking.
um,
I'm sorry.
some stuffed mozzarella sticks,
Do you think it
some
has
buffalo
anything to
stuffed
do?
mozzarella sticks.
Do you think it has anything to do because with whenever we talk about like, sorry, nature versus a nurture type of thing too, whereas are they genetically predisposed to be this way, or you know, with like you could talk in that aspect, talk about mental illness, or you know, again with the nurture thing where they like she was saying, taught a certain way, brought up a certain way, what plays a stronger role here?
Um,
It goes
you,
all
I
three.
think
Like
it's more. I think to honestly, right? I really think that I think it. You said nature versus nurture. I think their nature gets nurtured depending on the parent that raises them,
Right.
because I feel like it's in their nature to be this way, right? Like they're automatically extremely dependent upon the mother's womb and the mother
Mm-hmm.
herself. Period. And
Right.
then you have the sense of coddling,
Mm-hmm.
that also nurtures their inability to function on
Correct.
their own. And then which also nurtures the entitlement that they have.
Right. Because I'm just gonna like it's like with my son. My son's autistic. He's high functioning, but he is autistic. But with that said, I don't let him use that as a justification. Of course, I mean he's not an adult, like he's under the age of 15. I don't let him use his this as a justification for, hey, you still got chores to do, you got homework to do, you got this and this to do, and you're responsible for this and this. I don't let him use those things as a justification to not be a productive person.
So
Whereas I see,
Doso,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
my bad. So Doso actually asked a good question, right? At what point does grace gets cut off? For me, for men, for me, it's like at 18. As soon as puberty starts to take over, then it's like, all right, nah.
Right,
Because I think puberty amplifies what's already in them.
right.
That testosterone, it amplifies it. And that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
also talking about grown men. How much grace should we be having for grown men that claim to be leaders and they want to be, you know, the lord of people's lives and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't have much grace to give. I'm sorry, I don't have much grace to give. If you're a grown man, I I'm sorry. Like either your parents taught you right or not. That's not my. I'm not dealing with that. I can't. That's too much. I'm not trying to raise a
Um.
kid.
Right. We got reading. Hey, reading. Ain't
How you
seen you in a
doing? How
while.
you guys doing, man?
What's up? Go
Just
ahead. You could
enjoying life.
answer the prompt.
Oh, actually, answer your prompt. So I'll answer the part that like I think like I can answer. Um, all right, 2 seconds. No, I don't think like there's a mental health illness. I just think that like men grow up in environments where they don't really learn how to like appreciate or respect women, and unfortunately, you guys suffer the consequences of that. I don't think it's like someone needs like mental health therapy. I just think they just need like genuine women therapy. That's my actual answer.
Say that one more time.
I will say it again. Oh, okay, because I was sitting back down. So I don't think that women need like men's like or like I don't think men need like mental health like experiences like in that regard. Some men do need mental health like to grow as people, but I think a lot of times like the consequences that you guys deal with due to you guys' mental health is a result of him not talking to a woman who like he respected. But if he did, like his opinion would be very different. Like mine was very different. Like when my relationship with my mom was very much different. Like and it was always like you're gonna create a world, we're gonna make someone feel comfortable. Like it doesn't mean that they're always gonna like you, even when you're making them feel comfortable. But it's just like you're always gonna create a world where they can express and like be themselves with you, and that's when you can genuinely trust them. But a lot of guys don't realize that that exists between women, and I think that women are like put into a bad position because of it. Plan landed.
I personally feel like it's not
Uh,
the responsibility of the woman.
I don't think so either. I think it's the guy's part.
Then
right.
why do you think that like men should speak with more women? Like I feel like if that would like endanger more women if they're speaking to them without said mental health help.
Okay,
Like
so I
imagine if a
would love
man
to
who's
say
thinking
you're right.
about like
You're
thoughts that
correct.
are like very harmful towards women goes up to a woman and talks with her. Like that's putting her in a very dangerous
Yes, I
situation.
think you're
In my
completely right. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
opinion.
is
Okay.
the guy who was receptive in understanding, being able to comprehend that like consent, like for me, like this is how I was taught. Consent is about no. Like of course, yes, you want her to say yes. That is what you want her to do. But until she feels comfortable to tell you no, then you can't respect the yes because she might say yes and doesn't really mean it. And you don't want to be a part of that experience. So I think like it has a lot to do with intentionality and a guy understanding the conversations or sentences he wants to be a part of versus the ones he doesn't. And operating in a way where he doesn't make someone feel like they need to do that to themselves because that would
Right.
be really unfortunate for their experience.
But again,
Hope
that
that
goes
answered your
along
question.
with, are you being raised for especially, I mean, but to me, I mean, I guess I could go with either way, whether you're female or male. That goes with being raised in a stable environment where you're
I
taught
would agree.
this is wrong, this is right. I mean, it's
I would
not,
agree with you. So
and we
that is the
stop
case, right?
enabling our kids.
That is the case, but oftentimes, like with boys, because there's like patriarchy exists. Like I'm gonna talk to you about patriarchy for a second, right? The patriarchy exists, which is gonna tell a boy, yo, as long as she's like acting like she's with it, then it's cool. Which I think you and I can both agree is not necessarily the case all the time. And boys don't really realize that they can alter a really bad experience for a woman, even though like she didn't necessarily express that. But it's not her fault, right? It's just like she just tried to make safe decisions for herself. But a lot of guys don't get that.
Okay. Uh.
Are you guys
So,
okay?
are you okay?
I'm
Yeah,
very
we
much okay.
fine.
Very
We
much
fine.
okay.
But so you're saying that most men don't need mental health services?
I think they do, but I think that it must start with their parent and an expression. Like there's a for me, like the reason
So
I'm just
we
gonna say
okay. So regardless of their parents, right, and regardless of what they get
they
taught,
do need mental health. They do need mental health care.
Why is the parents always brought up as if? Because I think I'm kind of tired of hearing this whole thing about the parents being responsible. When you're a
They are
parent,
not.
but hold on once, when you're a parent, you're responsible for how your child is acting. When you become an adult, no matter how you were raised, you know the rules, you know the laws, unless you really are mentally, incapable, where you can actually have a disability. You
Hmm.
can't keep y'all can't keep being older men, grown men, and blaming upbringing because at the same time that y'all are being raised, girls are being raised too. So whatever neglect, whatever abuse, whatever trauma, whatever neglect or rejection that y'all have faced in y'all lives in the home, whether it's a single parent, whether it's two parents, whether it's a grandmother or an auntie, y'all still have the responsibility as fully grown
Yes, I
men
agree.
to
I
grow
agree.
up and mature. And it shouldn't always be blamed on your parents because a lot of y'all, like I'm starting to realize, a lot of y'all as boys had some serious
behavioral issues,
Yep.
and your mom may not necessarily have known how to deal with that. So y'all grow up and y'all resent women because you feel like your mom not knowing how to deal with you or not wanting
Correct.
to deal with your behavior
Correct.
is rejection, and then y'all end up hating women and lying on us. So that's the truth.
Correct. Like I'm not a person that loves on women, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, so I don't want to like sit here and act like your point isn't valid. That is very valid, right? I can't speak to those guys. Like those guys, you're right. They need a certain level of like mental health care. Do I believe all men need that, including myself? Yes. But I think there are two very big differences in that, right? Like it's like there's an animosity due to my upbringing. That's what you're talking about with those guys. For me, I've been on a therapy since I was 5. Like nothing was wrong. Like for me, it was just like my mom wanted me to develop like good skills and like learn and develop those skills in my specific process of like this is a new thing and I need to figure it out. So that was very much beneficial to me. And in that, a lot of it had to do with like a woman being able to say no and me being able to say no and that comfort in our relationship that existed. I don't think most men are afforded that luxury to understand that. And it's not like a coping mechanism, like, and I'm not justifying their behaviors, but I do believe that because they don't have those things, what I've noticed myself personally as a man, and I'll say it, is that sometimes men will hold women accountable for experiences they have never addressed with their mom or just in their general relationship towards women. And sometimes you guys suffer for that, and that's not okay. Point landed.
Would you say that men are slow in general? Like, would you honestly say that men are slow? Like, they're just a little
Hello.
delayed. And but
Hello.
hold
No,
on,
I wouldn't say that men were slow. I
but
wouldn't
hold
say
on. Let
that
me
men were
ask you
slow.
that question because why do y'all need so much help when girls just grow up and they're just typically generally okay? Why do y'all feel like y'all need so
Because
much
of the
help?
patriarchy. Because of the patriarchy. Like, and that part I can, like, this is the part I will defend a man on, like, all the way. Like, in me growing up, yes, did I have feelings? 100%. But in my growing up experience, I was taught to not acknowledge my feelings and to acknowledge someone else's. Like, yes, it's really important. I did a really good job in acknowledging those people's feelings, right? But I did a really poor job in acknowledging mine. So I can sit here and I can be great towards you. But if I'm not being great towards myself, that's going to impact me and it's going to make me feel a way. And then eventually, there's going to be a consequence of that that some woman has to experience. So I don't place that on women that it is your fault, but there is a world where, and I'm just being really candid with you, as men, we don't get to feel like we get to express ourselves ever. Whether I agree with them or not, because I think they're trash, but we don't get to do that. Like, that's not a thing for us,
I
but it
feel
should
like
be.
Whose
this.
fault is
I
that
feel
though?
like this is.
Probably our fault.
Okay.
I feel like this.
Go ahead, Ray, and then I'm gonna go to the next person. Go ahead.
I just want to say that I feel like this is really like proof that the patriarchy as a system
The
puts both
patriarchy
men
exists.
and women at a disadvantage.
It
Like
does,
I definitely
100%.
like I definitely agree with your points in the way that like you're saying that like if a lot of men aren't allowed these values or to be taught these values, then they don't seek out said mental health help because they don't think they have any mental health problems.
Correct. You're right.
So this at the end of the day is at the source, it is the system. Like I feel like blaming the individual people is like it's always what people resort to, but it's never actually the point because the point is the reason that everyone is in the situation, including men, including women, including everybody, is the system that we set up that is designed to keep us there.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
That is made by who? Men.
Yes.
But we're gonna.
Say we who set it up? We the people. Who's we?
Men,
No,
men,
I'm saying
men,
that
men.
we are all victims of the system. Men definitely set up the system, absolutely. But we all suffer under it, including
But
men.
here's the thing: men enjoy their suffering that they suffer under the patriarchy. They
No, we
can't wait
don't.
to be the next powerful man in line. The
That's
only thing
really
that's
weird.
stopping them from, in their minds, the only thing that's stopping them from being on the top is the fact that they don't have access to capital.
What
They
man
don't
told you
have
that?
access to it. Can I
Which
talk,
man?
sir?
What?
I
What's
feel
No,
like
I'm
happening?
that's
asking
Okay,
you.
wait a
generalizing.
minute.
What
What's
Wait a
man told you
happening
minute.
that?
here?
Wait a
I'm
minute.
just
Hold
simply
on.
answering your question.
Hold
What
on.
man
Wait a
told you
minute.
that?
Wait a minute, reading. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Give me a second. I want to bring Style and Arsenio. Style, go ahead. Respond to the prompt. After you're done, Arsenio, you can go. Style and grace.
I
Just
was on. I was on mute. Sorry about that. How you guys doing
mm-hmm.
today? Happy Sunday. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty interesting topic, and some pretty interesting things were said. One of the things I look at when I look at the word arrested development, I think it's like a condition where most individuals, emotional, psychological, physical, that's like their development stops or fails to progress at an expected rate. And it's like mostly due to, trauma, neglect, or dysfunctional environments. So I think that I'm 52 years old. I think there's a difference in generations because to me, a 25-year-old today is totally different than a 25-year-old back in 1989. I was able to see both 25-year-olds in 1989 and a 25-year-old today. Totally different. Totally different mindsets. I mean, this generation today, including men, I agree with the panel was saying about men, have a lot of distractions, and most young men do suffer from arrested development. And like she said, you can't always blame it on the parents because sometimes the parents do the best they can. It's usually the child's it's usually the child's decision as he get older. If he want to mess around with chemicals or grass and do that it's his decision. So a lot of people blame their past and their childhood and their parents for the condition today, and it's like you're blame shifting. And a lot of people lean on that, and you can't heal or you can't grow mentally or physically thinking like that. So when you look at the females too, the young females today, like sometimes I get on social media, I see the young females today coming and having a lot of police contact. I didn't see that in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Now I'm seeing like the 22, 23-year-old females, they're having a lot of police contact, like wrestling around with the police on the freeways, running from grocery stores. I'm seeing a lot of that now. It's like that's kind of different than me. So it's not only the young men, it's the young females too that's suffering a form of arrested development. So this is a very interesting topic, but you can't leave out the women either because they kind of contribute to like a lot of men. Like we used to do prison ministry. A lot of men are sitting in prison behind a woman some kind of way. Whether he's trying to get money, got in a fight, he always brings up his woman or girlfriend some kind of way. So the woman kind of contributes to how men act too. I'm gonna land my plane with that.
No, no, they
I
don't,
just
because y'all
Okay.
are
I
responsible
hear
for
somebody blowing their breath. Say that again.
your own behavior. So if
No, they're
somebody's
not. They're
around
not. But
you,
when you
but what you said you landed.
no, when you
So
talk to a man, he
when
brings his woman up. When you talk to a
you're
man, he
right,
brings
and
his
what that's
woman.
called,
He brings the
and what that's
relationship
called
in.
is that's called deflection, because men don't typically like to be responsible, and they don't typically like to take accountability. So they'll tell you, just like most men do, about this terrible situation they had when they was younger about a high school sweetheart, just because they could not accept rejection. They'll tell
And
you all
ma'am,
this
what
stuff
kind
about
of
their
man are you
mom.
dealing with?
Ma'am, one second.
Wait, hold
So
on.
they'll tell you,
Hold on.
please wait.
Wait. I'm sorry, Divinity. Listen, you come up here. Please be muted until I introduce you or one of the mods introduce you. Okay. Don't interrupt anybody. If you have landed your plane, please allow other people to respond to you in style. What you got going on in your background?
What do you mean?
It's a very weird frequency sound going on in your background.
Well, actually, I'm in a guard's booth, but I have what is it echoing?
It's not echoing. It just sounds like a frequency. Is
Yes,
We can hear
you?
the
can
equipment.
we mute
It's
you while
yeah.
you
It's
not
the yeah.
speaking? Because
It's
this
the
is my
equipment.
turning my head.
It's the
Like
equipment.
Maybe
Is it
like
the
your
red
radio on.
the radio?
you're on the fifth
Since you
dimension or
said you're
Yeah,
something.
like whatever frequency it is, it's like going straight to my inner canal. So it's like super, like I
it
don't know,
stopped.
it's
I don't know
weird.
what you just did, but it stopped. I don't hear it no more.
What do you mean? Is it like it's like a sound coming in a tunnel or
It
what?
stopped
Shit.
and then it started
Now
back.
it just started back.
It's a ringing sound.
Probably mute to it. It's probably background noise for him.
That's crazy because it like literally is making my ears bleed. Like it's
Actually awful.
crazy.
Divinity, please finish your thought.
Yeah, go
Uninterrupted.
ahead, Divinity. You can finish.
Uninterrupted.
So the thing is, the prompt is not talking about women, and we're not talking about a generation. We're talking about men in general with their behaviors. And even though I do understand that you feel like because these men have told you this, that they're in prison behind a woman, ultimately men commit the majority of violent crimes. That's rape, that's unaliving, that's kidnapping, that's robbing, holding people in their basements for years. Nobody made them do that stuff. That's stuff that they chose to do. So I just kind of think that it's disingenuous, once again, to always want to throw a woman in there, and even to throw in there that it goes both ways, because it doesn't. Typically men, their prefrontal cortex develops slower, and so that's why oftentimes women will have complaints in marriages and relationships that they have a man child that is along with the rest of their children, because that's just kind of how men function. Weaponized incompetence, just acting as if they don't know things, always wanting to blame someone else for something, being lazy in the mind. Not, let's just not talk about prison. Let's talk about these men
Stay on
who
mute,
can't even
please.
Let's talk about these men who can't even make themselves doctor's appointments. Let's talk about these men who feel like they want their wives to be like another mom to them. The thing is, if we're going to have a conversation, like I always say, I think it's best to have the conversation being honest and being real about the state of men collectively. Who cares about the men that are in prison? They're in prison, they're done for. But the men who are out here, out and about, who are going around inflicting a lot of chaos in the communities, oftentimes those men suffer from arrested development. They suffer, in my opinion, from lunacy, being unable to function in society as a normal adult. That's a real thing. And then they get into relationships with women, or they have children too early, or they're just menaces to society. And when they get checked out, it's clear that something is wrong with them. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. The fact that y'all are making it an issue about relationships, we're talking about men in general, and just men not knowing how to act in general because their prefrontal cortex and other developmental delays are present. So that's all.
Okay. Arsenio, go ahead. You could address the prompt.
Hello guys. The prompt. The thing is, I've been doing my spiritual journey, right? I'm celibate, and the more celibacy that I do, the more I understand that all of these gender wars, it's all the same thing. So you see the man hating on women and women hating on men, and it's like nobody's understanding each other. And only people who are in a high frequency will understand what I'm saying. It is not about your gender, it's about your frequency, it's about your standards, because a lot of people are actually not ready to date, and they go to traumatic experiences, and you still have your old patterns, and now you attract a man that has all of the qualities that you don't like, and now you want to blame all men, and you want to generalize all men. And it's the same thing for women. You are a man, some woman broke your heart, and now you're not ready, but because you don't love yourself enough and you cannot be alone, you want to go date another person's daughter, and now you blame other women. I think a lot of people, we need to be alone. I'm not saying this like trying to play, but it's time for us to be single and really like go within, instead of trying to blame outside sources, because if we are attracting these type of people, something is wrong with us, because there's a lot of amazing people outside, and I only been attracted like amazing woman only as when I like step my foot down, only when I do my inner work. So we got to start like doing the spiritual work inside. And all of these hate, like I hate man or I hate woman, it's funny, but this is only a low frequency thing. And you got to understand, these things will take you somewhere, and that somewhere is not beautiful. That's not the answer. Like blaming the other gender is never the answer. It's you understanding yourself. Doesn't matter if you call yourself divine, goddess, or king, you gotta leave that. And a lot of people like to see those TikToks and be viral, talking about spirituality, but actually don't practicing, Women, like, do celibacy, give yourself a break. See, go deep down on your father. What did your father did to you? What man did wrong to you? And really think. And the same thing for men, you know. I don't hold only women accountable. I hold everybody accountable. If you are a man or a woman, if you are a human being, you need to evolve spiritually. It's not about gender, guys, because gender really doesn't exist. It only exists in this dimension. When you're outside of this body, you're only a spirit. So all of this is an illusion. That's all. Thank you.
Child, why the curiosity? You can go ahead and answer, Frank.
Hey, so I do agree with my previous Sasa here, the speaker. I don't know what his name is, Awasani something. But I do believe that, you know, it's not a fault of men, it's a fault of parenting. And you know, some parents do raise their sons differently than they raise their children. I try my best to raise both my kids the same way.
1 second. Are we reading the prompt? Is everybody able to see it?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
no, okay, I get it. I
I don't believe
understand.
so.
I'm getting to
People,
it.
people don't read.
No, I absolutely understood. I comprehend what the question is. I'm just trying to go in a, you know, I'm trying to explain why some men might be like that, you know,
We
but no.
have 2 men up here that can explain the men's side of this. We don't need a woman to do that for them. I'm pretty sure that they can do that, right?
Okay, then we don't care about that. Okay, so
I just
I
want
do.
to go.
I'm sorry.
Just answer the prompt. Just answer the prompt.
All right. No, I don't think so. I really don't think that, you know, that men, that it's their nature.
Wait.
I think,
So are men just immature, or are they actually mentally ill,
Yeah, I was
emotionally
gonna say, it may
can't
help if you
function
read it.
without cause?
they're not immature.
Where
It's
does it
not their
say
nature.
nature?
No,
Okay.
I'm just, goodness gracious. All right, what I'm trying to say is men are men, okay? They are raised differently and they act the way they are raised. If you're raised with kindness and compassion, that is what you give to the world. If you're not, that's not what you give, right? So I believe the problem lies within us as women, as mothers of those men to send to the world. Because that man that you're speaking of has a mother that raised him. And that woman obviously did not do a good enough job. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like, I want my son, he is 14, he's a child. He doesn't know nothing about that kind of ideology, but once he goes into the world, I would appreciate that he understood everything that I gave him and treat a woman well enough to for that woman to want him to be his wife, you know? And that woman is a child of another mother. That is the thing that we're forgetting. It's not just men out there. You have to think, if your child is with somebody that is, you know, not treating them well or physically just I don't know if I can say that word here, harming them, right? What does that tell you about the household that child grew up in?
So, Matt, I just have a question. So, you think
Mhm.
that every single man that has ever been abusive, that turned out to be a bad seed in the community, that did a lot of unaliving and doing things to people, you think that just because they grew up to do those things, that their moms were bad moms?
I do believe that specifically with boys, yes, their moms influence them, right? Their moms are their first confidant. Their moms are what they measure up to the world, once they get out.
So they don't have dads to be examples of how to teach
No,
them
of course they
how to.
also, in the best case scenarios, of course they also have dads.
Why does it have to be the
But
best case scenario
but
with the
no,
dad?
but
But you like
but in the
we
majority of life, okay, I don't care if you're super modern, whatever, blah blah blah, right? But what I'm saying is when you're a mom, right, your kids always come to you first as a mom. You're the first point of contact. Does that make sense?
it doesn't
Um,
because oh go ahead, okay, I'm sorry.
I got a question for you. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Young QC is?
Of course.
Young QC. You know who that is, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you know his story, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that his mother did anything wrong to make him want to unalive her?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. Here we are. We have a man who felt so entitled to his status and his mother's money, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he unalived her to get more of it after she already was still giving him everything that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So make it make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense because that is just entitlement and greed, and that is characteristics in human behavior that just happen, and people have it.
But by your logic, right? She did something. She didn't raise him right. By your logic.
Yeah.
Okay, I do understand where you're coming from, but what I'm trying to say is teach your kids good values, good common sense, right? Because common sense doesn't come always free, right? Teach them everything you need them to have, and then send them off to the world because the world is cruel, I am not saying that people, maybe he had a mental illness that nobody detected before because his mom didn't send him to therapy or
She's
something.
giving like so many excuses for bad behavior and poor behavior.
I
Like
am
if
not giving
you
excuses.
you are,
I
it's
am
everybody else's
not.
fault but his. Even if your
And
parents did
blaming
not
it
get you the
on
proper
Listen,
treatment,
listen. All I'm saying is my
but
husband
hold
is
on, but
my
even just the
husband is
way but even
present.
just the way ma'am,
Listen,
even
all
just
I'm
the way
saying,
that you just blaming on the
if
mom by
if
saying
you
that the
didn't
mom didn't take
interrupt me,
hold
I
on,
control.
can
let
tell
her
you.
speak. Let her speak, please. Divinity, you.
So even did you saying that you're not blaming the mom, but even you saying that okay, he may have had mental health issues, and then you add in there that the mom didn't take him to go get help with. I don't know if you understand what mental illnesses and personality disorders are, But no matter how much help a parent tries to give to their child that has those issues, they can bend over backwards and do all kinds of things. If that child and that adolescent, when it becomes an adolescent and becomes a grown man, if they don't decide on their own with all the love and the nurturing and everything that the mom and the dad or whoever has taught them, as when they get older, they make their own life. They make their own way. And if their way is destruction, violence, getting over on people, and all those different things, you can't blame the mom for something that a grown adult person chose to do. So it sounds like, what country are you in? As a matter of fact, I've been wondering that. What country are you in, ma'am? Because whatever country she's in, that's gonna make sense. Because a lot of these women in these other countries, they are very, very oppressed and suppressed, and they are taught to look at men and boys a certain way, and they're taught that there are certain things that are supposed to be more so on them as a mom, and they're supposed to take all the heat what from for whatever happens to that boy, and they are male worshipers as far as how they see the boys and even how they treat the daughters, and even in those countries where they treat the sons like putting them on pedestals, the sons still end up, no matter how much help they give them, the sons still end up being degenerate, and no matter how much they ignored the daughters, no matter how much trauma their daughters went through, that they literally watched them go through, that they allowed them to go through because they value boys over girls, the girls are still resilient. So to me, it seems like on a subconscious level or even on a conscious level, you know that boys have these issues, but you still want to try to make it okay and blame the mom. That's what it seems like.
No, I'm not trying to blame the mom. I'm saying it could also have been a female, person who did all of this, right? You do realize that that also happens, right? So
It's an essay.
yeah, that happens. That happens to boys as well. What are you talking
Who
about?
brought that? Who brought that up though? Because I didn't bring that up. I wasn't talking about essay
No,
at
you
all.
asked me. You asked me SA, and I said yes. That is one of them. But
But I'm asking, where
I'm
did that
actually
come
talking
from
about
though?
Shimoda. Okay.
What do the men
Wow.
have? What men, males? What are they responsible for? If they're not responsible for their own actions, what are they responsible for? I would love that answer.
I'm sorry. What
Ask it again. What are the men responsible for in their lives?
in their lives for themselves, for maintaining to live and giving themselves a healthy living situation. What do you mean?
Well, you've been blaming everyone.
Like, are you meaning
No, no.
like
Let
if
me go.
they're
I got you.
married or
You've
if they're
been.
with a girl?
It doesn't
But
matter
if
if
it's
they're with
just
a wife.
men,
Okay.
if
If
it's
she's.
just men by themselves, then
No,
of
listen.
course, just to
Let me know when you're done
maintain
talking.
themselves.
You done talking? If the man's married, who is he still responsible for his own well-being, or is the woman responsible for the well-being of the man? Come off mute. God
Maybe
dang.
let me help you. Let me help you out. I'm gonna help rephrase this maybe where she can understand it. At what point does a man have to take responsibility for his own actions and stop blaming everybody else for his actions? I don't care what he went through as a child, blah 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 blah, or this, that, and the other. At what point does he have to start taking accountability for his own actions? Is that about what you were trying to say?
Thank you, Mel. I'll accept that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to try to overtalk
It's
you.
okay, Mel. It's all right. Just let the woman come back.
Oh, okay. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so to your question, Mel, it is the moment he commits something that he does something unlawful, of course.
Is it only when it's unlawful?
Yo, I'm gonna have to end because
What do
my
you
phone's
mean?
about to die.
What
Wait,
I've been
wait.
telling you to put
I'm
it on the
about to
charger.
end because my phone is about to die. Okay, I will be right back.
Look over.